everybody. Come on, guys. just going to wait for everyone to stop talking. Excuse me. Thank you. If we could please have everyone put their cell phones away. We have a very important presentation today, and I just want to make sure that your focus is all up at the front. First of all, a big thank you to Mr. LaRusso for facilitating the live streaming, and Mr. Camille with helping out with lights and sound. Again, good morning. My name is Mrs. Schneider, if you don't know me, and I have the privilege of making a few introductions today. Before we begin our Blue Community Certification Ceremony, I would like to invite Cynthia up to read the land acknowledgement, followed by Noah to read the prayer.
While we meet today, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge all the Indigenous peoples of all lands that we are on today, and the importance of land and water, which we call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improve our own understanding of the local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations peoples that call this nation home. I would also like to acknowledge that I speak to you today from the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, Lenape, and other Wanderung peoples. This land continues to be home to a diverse Indigenous peoples whom we recognize as contemporary stewards of the land and vital contributors to our society. Thank you.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. All-powerful God, you are present in the whole universe and in the smallest of your creatures. You embrace with your tenderness all that exists. Pour out upon us the power of your love, that we may protect life and beauty. Fill us with peace, that we may live as brothers and sisters, harming no one. O God of the poor, help us to rescue the abandoned and forgotten of this earth, so precious in your eyes. Bring healing to our lives, that we may protect the world and not prey on it, that we may sow beauty, not pollution and destruction. Touch the hearts of those who look only for gain at the expense of the poor and the earth. Teach us to discover the worth of each thing, to be filled with awe and contemplation, to recognize that we are profoundly united with every creature as we journey towards your infinite light. We thank you for being with us each day. Encourage us, we pray, in our struggle for justice, love, and peace. Mother Teresa,
Pray for us. Thank you, Sonia and Noah. A big welcome to our school community and guests, including Mark Calzavera, who joins us. He's the National Water Campaigner for the Council of Canadians, so he's come here all the way from Toronto for today. Superintendent Fernandez, welcome. Robin Michaud, who is an Indigenous dancer, who is going to perform for us today and speak to us about water. Mrs. Denby, who is our Indigenous lead from the board office. And we also have a few members of the London chapter of the Council of Canadians. So we have Lynn Brown, Marianne McCoy, Chuck Gochi, and Teresa Bell joining us. Thank you very much, guys. Today we are celebrating a momentous occasion, not only on Mother Teresa, but across all schools, all high schools in Canada. MTS will be the first Blue Community High School in the world. In honor of this occasion, I would like to invite Superintendent Fernandez to say a few words on behalf of the London District Catholic School Board.
So, good morning, Principal Lamoureux, students, and staff of Mother Teresa, and to our special guests. It is certainly wonderful to be back at MTS, a place that I certainly hold near and dear in my heart, and a place that I see as a returning home. Thank you for the invitation to join you on this morning, on this special occasion. It is my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of Senior Administration for the London District Catholic School Board. On a personal note, I extend my congratulations to all Spartans leading the change across our system in reducing and ultimately eliminating plastic water bottle sales and use, and taking the pledge to become a blue community. This initiative is not only reducing the school's environmental footprint within the community, but also supporting the long-standing Spartan goal to be the difference that we hope to see in the world. On this World Water Day, we celebrate your commitment to environmental sustainability, recognizing access to water as a basic human right, and reducing the use of plastic water bottles at Mother Teresa. Thank you to the students, especially those on the stage who are the trailblazers leading this initiative, and all students and staff for accepting the challenge, and to Mrs. Schmidt and Mr. Lamoureux for your leadership and support of this initiative. Congratulations on being the first school in the world, but also within our board, to receive this designation and exemplifying our values as stewards of God's creation. We have embarked on a great initiative and one that we hope will be followed across the system. Thank you and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Superintendent Fernandez. We have a Blue community team here at the school, led by grade 12 student Emma Harmos, who has been working diligently to make this certification happen. I'd like to invite Emma to explain more about what it means to be a Blue community.
Good morning, Spartans. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Emma Harmos, and I'm a grade 12 student, as well as one of the environment ministers on student council. Water is a basic human right. We must respect, protect, and fulfill an individual's right to water. According to Global Affairs Canada, over 40% of the world's population does not have access to sufficient clean water. And according to the David Suzuki Foundation, nearly 90% of single-use plastics in Canada end up in landfills, incinerators, lakes, parks, and oceans. Statistics like these have compelled MTS to take action through making our school a Blue community. A Blue community is a community that recognizes that water is a shared resource for all and bans the sale of any single-use plastic water bottles. This incredible initiative gives us another reason to be so proud to call ourselves Spartans, as we are setting precedent by becoming the first Blue community high school. On behalf of all of us here, I would also like to thank Mark Calzavera from the Council of Canadians, which runs the Blue Community Project, Ms. Schned and Mr. Lamoureux for their dedication to this project. This certification couldn't have happened without their support. I would also like to thank Mr. Martins, our charge custodian, and his team for ensuring that proper plumbing was put in place for more water filling stations at our school. I'm also very happy to announce that we will soon have 2 more water bottle filling stations and hopefully more to come. Also, watch for posters and other resources around the school that promote water as a human right. We want to encourage everyone to stop purchasing single-use plastic water bottles. If you need a reusable water bottle, just reach out. We want everyone to have access to one. I'd now like to introduce Mark Calzavera, who has joined us all the way from Toronto, to share a few words.
Thank you so much, Emma, for the introduction and for leading the charge, leading the whole idea of this school becoming a Blue community. Without your hard work, this never would have happened, and I think the committee and the school really should be celebrated for taking this step. It's a great commitment and a great achievement. You are also the 100th Blue community in the entire world, which is a nice round number, and I'm embarrassed to say I didn't realize that until I actually counted them again yesterday. But being the 100th Blue community gets you a special patch for your, it means that we're growing very, very quickly. Here in London, there's 4 other Blue communities. The last one was designated a year ago, and it was, I think, the 83rd. So we really are growing quickly, and it's critically important. Before I go on about the Blue Community, so let me just give you a quick idea of what is the Council of Canadians. So we're a not-for-profit. We're supported only by individuals. We don't take government money or corporate money, because those are the entities that we just spend most of our time trying to convince to do the right thing. We try to convince the government not to sell out to the corporations, and we try to convince the corporations to be good citizens like the rest of us. Holding governments accountable for keeping their promises, for doing what we have asked them to do, what they promised to do, is key. And today being World Water Day, I'll just give you an example of how we do that. You may be aware that there are dozens of First Nations reserves in Canada that cannot drink their tap water because it's too polluted. It needs to be boiled at least before being consumed. That's a federal government responsibility to make sure that they can drink their tap water. And it's, I don't think we can underestimate how big an impact it would have. If you could imagine every time you reach for water in your house in your life, that water has to be boiled first or be coming from a bottle, because it'll make you sick if you drink it raw or untreated or without doing that first. I think you could understand that it would really have a knock-on effect on your life. It means you're going to wash your hands less. It means you're going to brush your teeth less. It means you're going to change the way you live because it's so inconvenient to have to boil your water all the time. So it really has a huge impact on those First Nations reserves. And it's a problem that's been going on for quite a long time. One of the reserves in the Escandiga Reserve, they've had boil water advisory there for 30 years. Whole generations have grown up not being able to drink their tap water. And this is in Canada. This is not what we would expect in such a water-rich nation. The failure of the federal government to fix this has been going on for decades, but 8 years ago, Prime Minister Trudeau promised in his election campaign in 2015 to put an end to this, to fix the First Nations water crisis for good. He said 5 years. He looked straight into the camera and he said, we're going to do this in 5 years. It's going to be done. And they made good progress at first. I'll give them some credit. They're the first federal government that's actually tried to do anything. But quickly it started to stall out. Within 2 years, the provincial budget officer who tells the government, are you doing a good job of how you're spending your money, was already saying, you're not going to be spending enough money, you're not spending enough money on fixing this problem to actually fix it in your 5-year time frame. And they didn't adjust to the way that they were doing things to make it more successful to reach that deadline. That deadline was in 2001, 3 years ago this month. There's still 28 First Nations that have boil water advisories on, including just downstream, down the Thames River from here. The Chippewa, the Thames, and the Oneida First Nations are both under drinking water advisories right now. So today, on World Water Day, tens of thousands of our supporters across Canada are going to be contacting Justin Trudeau and Minister of the Environment, Sylvain Guilbeault, and their local Liberal MPs to remind them of this promise that was made and to try to light a fire under them to get to the end of the road and finish the job that they started. Holding governments accountable is critically important because we trust them to do what they say they're going to do, and if they don't do it, then we have to keep going back at them again and again. So as a Blue community, now that you're a Blue community, you have great opportunities and responsibilities. I mean, it's about bottled water, not having bottled water available at your events or selling it in your school in this case. It's about recognizing the human right to water and supporting that as a human right. And it's about keeping water public. And we've got some stickers that have been going around, keep water public, water is a human right, and I drink tap water. So just as an example, the idea of keeping water public. So our water is provided by our municipalities for the most part, And that is provided on a not-for-profit basis. It's the government providing our water for us. And it's incredibly important that it be that way, because if it's being done for a profit, if it's a private corporation that is providing you water for you, as happens in many places in the world, there's always the pressure and the opportunity to cut corners to make more profit. That is what corporations do. That is their main goal, and anything they can do to make profit that they can get away with, they will. If that means cutting your the quality of your water or your access to water, if it makes them more money, they'll do that. That's why it's so important to keep water public. Also, because water is so critically important in our lives. It's not Slurpees, it's not Coca-Cola, it's not beer. It's more important than that. We can't go without water for more than a few days. And if something goes wrong with your tap water, it is a catastrophe because so many people are affected. You can look to Walkerton, Ontario, where the government of the day, 20 years ago roughly, stopped being as careful as they were supposed to be with making sure the water was clean. And 8 people, I believe it was, lost their lives because of contamination in the water. You can look to Flint, Michigan, where lead contamination occurred in the water supply there because people were cutting costs and trying to save money. It's critically important that we keep water in public hands and under the control of people who are responsible to us, who are accountable to us. And so that's one of the important things that the Blue community does, because there's lots of corporations that would jump at the chance to purchase the water system here in the City of London and sell you your water. They would pay a lot of money for that, and then the City of London probably could use a lot of money. There's a lot of pressure on cities. Their budgets are always being crushed. So there's that impetus, that drive to get control of people's water so that you can profit from it. And the Blue communities are one of the ways that you can make people aware of that and fight back against it. So here in London, we have the City of London is a Blue community. The colleges, Huron College and Brescia College at University, Western University are Blue communities, and the Sisters of St. Joseph are also a Blue community. So your school joining them means that you can work together with these other entities and really leverage the power that you each have and the people that you have sway and information gathering and exchanging with. Like here it is your student body, all the parents and family of the folks here, and those other Blue communities, they have their own organizations and groups of people that they're talking to. So you can have a lot of influence when you come together. And that is the great opportunity the Blue Communities Project brings, is bringing us together to protect our water and to fight to make sure that we all have access to clean water. So I want to say thank you again for becoming a Blue community. I look forward to seeing what happens here because you are the first Blue high school, and I'm very curious to know or to watch what will become of you and how you will manifest being a Blue community. And that's up to you. Before I go though, I do want to take a picture, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a picture from up here. I think,
Show off your
somebody
stickers,
over here was
guys.
blinking, if I could take that one. Maybe we could just gather in. So I'm going to put these photos, they'll go on our website. It's Canadians.org. And you can go there today, especially, it would be great if you could go there. You can send a letter, an email to the Prime Minister about the First Nations water crisis. You can do that today and join tens of thousands of other people also taking that action today. And I encourage you to do so, and you'll find all kinds of other information there about water and about the Blue Communities Project. I've talked for far longer than I thought I would, than I was asked to, but I will say thanks again and pass it on to.
Thank you.
today is World Water Day, when we acknowledge the importance of water. However, today we also raise awareness for the 2 billion people who live without access to safe water. Today reminds us why it is crucial for communities like ours of fresh water. To combat the global water crisis, our school is helping promote clean water and accessible water through promotional material and resources. It is important that we as students, a school, and a community do everything we can to help others in need gain access to clean water. And I would now like to introduce a special guest, Robin Michaud. Robin Michaud is an Sagamok Ashnomek First Nation. She is a jingle dancer and is here today to share more about the origins of the jingle dance and its connections to water. Miss Denemy will present tobacco to Robin in exchange for her teachings today.
Bonjour, I just introduced myself in the Anishinaabe Moyan language. I said, my name is Robin Michaud, but my spirit name is North Star Woman. I'm from Sagamok Anishinaabe First Nation, and I'm Bear Clan. I was asked to come here today to talk to you a little bit about our relationship with the water. In the Anishinaabe community, we hold water in the highest of regard. She has a name in our community, we call her Nibi. Nibi is sacred to us. She has a spirit, and we believe that all life flows through her. So, as our community, it's our job to protect her. I was doing a little research last night because I was wanting to sort of get a little bit of a few facts to go to sort of back up what we've always known since time immemorial, how important water is. Water makes up over 70% of the Earth's surface. When you think about it, that's a lot of land area. When you think about the human body, water makes up anywhere between 50 to 75% of the human body. And I was also looking at last night, most of the water in our body is in our vital organs. In our vital organs, they're over 80% water. So you can see how when we say water is life, water is literally keeping us alive. In our community, we consider the women the water carriers. That's because when a woman is pregnant and carrying her child, she's literally carrying that child in a bag of waters for 9 months before they're born. So in our community, we call the women the water carriers, and they're responsible for protecting the water. That's why you see a lot of women in our community as spokespeople. If you've ever heard of Autumn Peltier, who's the Chief Water Commissioner for the Anishinaabe Nation, she's spoken at the UN to talk about the water crisis here in Canada, specifically with regards to First Nations. Something that you may or may not know is how closely this crisis hits home. I have for many years been as a teacher for the Thames Valley Board. I work in Indigenous education, and we have a lot of students from our three local communities that attend our schools in Thames Valley. Those local communities are Oneida Nation, Chippewa, the Thames First Nation, and Munsee, Delaware. All three communities have been under boil water advisories for years now. And when I was doing some research for a project last year, I didn't realize that all three had been under this advisory for, I think, 2 or 3 years at that time. And I asked my supervisor, my principal, and I said, is that true? Like, am I reading this correctly? And she said, yeah. I said, so how do you survive? And she said, well, we can take showers, but to brush our teeth, we have to use bottled water, and to do any cooking, we use bottled water. And I thought to myself, how normalized that is in those communities that we don't even know about it because they don't even talk about it. That's just their norm. And just this year, Oneida Nation specifically hit national crisis levels because not only did they not have clean drinking water coming out of their taps, they had no water coming out of their taps. They not only had a problem with getting clean water, but they had suddenly run out of water. And they were relying on national donations of single-use plastic bottles of water to be able to survive. And these are things that if you don't turn on the news, or even sometimes you turn on the news and you still don't hear about it because it's normalized. These are the people that you might be in hockey with, or like a lacrosse league, or a soccer league. These people who are your peers, that's their reality at home, is that they don't have clean drinking water. And that's been going on for years, and that's literally within 20 minutes of London. So I just wanted to say thank you for having me here today to talk a little bit about this. I am a jingle dancer, and one of the things about the jingle dance that you may not know is that it's considered a healing dance. The origin of the jingle dance is actually what you would know to be a miracle. This happened about 100 years ago during the last pandemic. An Anishinaabe girl was really, really ill, and her grandfather had prayed to Creator and said, help my daughter get well. And he received a vision from Creator, and he said, make this dress for your daughter. It's going to have 365 metal cones on it. And if you put it on her, she'll be able to, you put it on her, she'll get up and she'll dance and she'll be well. And that's exactly what happened. And this is something that really, really happened, like I said, about 100 years ago. So ever since then, people in our communities have been doing the jingle dance, and we consider it a healing dance. So I thought this was a really neat connection here, because I would like to perform a dance for healing, for the water, especially for our neighbors in Chippewa, Muncie, and Oneida, who need us, who need our help. And just a little bit about the dance. It's only a couple minutes long, but the thing about jingle dance is that it's considered a way, people often give us tobacco when we dance, and then we put the tobacco on a sacred fire. Those prayers go up to Creator. So we're kind of help bring people's prayers up to Creator. And when I dance, when they have what's called an honor beat, and you'll hear it, you'll know it when you hear it, it's like a stronger beat. I carry a dance band, and you'll see me go like this. And that's lifting those honor beats and those prayers up to Creator. So just a little background of the jingle dance. And so I would like to perform a short song, so we can all maybe, as I'm dancing, think about our neighbors in those communities and say a little prayer for them, and we'll lift those prayers up to Creator.
Thank you so much for sharing your talent and knowledge with us, Robin. Miigwech. I would now like to invite to stand up the MTS Blue Community team, Mr. Lamrou and Superintendent Fernandez, to receive the certification from Mark, who I would also like to invite up. Yeah, we can all gather. Yeah, maybe we can. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, and I'd like now to invite Mr. Lynn up to say a few words.
Good morning, Superintendent Fernandez, our Board Indigenous Lead, Ms. Denemy, Mark Calsaveria, Council of Canadians Chapter, our honored guests, our London Chapter, guests, parents, MTS faculty, and students. On behalf of our Spartan family, I'd like to thank you for your attention this morning. Gandhi once said, "We but mirror the world. All the tendencies present in the outer world are to be found in the world of our body." If we would change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world changes towards him. This is the divine mystery supreme, a wonderful thing it is and the source of our happiness. We need not wait to see what others do. What Gandhi was doing was directing us much deeper. He was guiding us to do the inner work that we often shy away from, the inner change beyond simply wishing or visualizing. Today we celebrate World Water Day, accelerating change to solve the water and sanitation crisis. And how fitting to have this Blue Water Certification ceremony held at 1065 Sunningdale Road East, our Spartan home, where we will uphold and embrace the principles and treat water as a common good that is shared by everyone and is the responsibility of all. As Emma has said, we are installing 2 more water filling stations, and we will be installing 2 more, and that will give us a total of 6. 3 on the first floor, 3 on the second floor. Now I'm going to rewind back to the beginning of October and read an email I received from one of our student leaders. "Dear Mr. Lamrou, my name is Emma Harmos, and I'm a grade 12 student and Minister of the Environment at MTS. One of the initiatives for this year on behalf of the Council is to make MTS a blue water community, and we need your support. I would greatly appreciate 15 minutes of your time to connect in person and discuss the proposal and receive your input. I've already been in contact with the Council of Canadians in regards to this initiative, and they recently responded that they would like to use MTS as their pilot project high school. Thank you for your time and consideration, Emma." Emma, on behalf of your Spartan family, thank you for your leadership and vision. In 5 short months, you have championed this amazing school initiative into fruition. I'd also like to thank the members that you have recruited, Liva and Sania, to continue on this legacy that will continue on at Mother Teresa. On behalf of the Spartan community, everyone, applause to Emma and her. Thank you, Mark, the National Water Campaigner for the Council of Canadians, for working with Emma to make this day happen. Today you've arrived a guest, but you leave us a beloved member of our Spartan family. Also, thank you to our representatives from the London chapters for being here to celebrate our Blue Community Certification. Thank you, Superintendent Fernandez, for bringing greetings on behalf of the Board of Trustees and Senior Admin from the London District Catholic School Board. We are so blessed to have your support and guidance as our family of school superintendent. Thank you, Mrs. Shedd, for arranging this ceremony and taking the lead on ensuring this event received the recognition it so deserves. You are truly a leader extraordinaire in our community. Thank you, Robin, our Indigenous dancer and performer. You are a dear friend of the London District Catholic School Board, but more importantly, we are delighted that you are now part of our Spartan family. So thank you. Thank you to Mr. LaRusso and Mr. McNeil for bringing this ceremony into our classrooms and providing all the technological wizardry each and every assembly we hold in this facility. And again, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our custodians, Louis and his team, who keep our home in exemplary condition day in and day out, and especially for today. And as always, to our Spartans, for your undivided attention this morning, I would like to now call upon Emma to come back up. She has a bit of a surprise for you right now.
So we have a little surprise for everyone. If you could check behind your chairs, you might see a little ticket. If you have that ticket, pull it up. We have some reusable water bottles for you. If you have a TV, come on up. Behind the chairs. On the back. It's on the back of the chairs. Come on up, guys.
Thank you so much, everyone. Congratulations again to our Spartan community for becoming a blue community, and we can all head back to classes. Thank you.